Homeless. So a little bit of background information. Land for the Homeless is a nonprofit organization I founded back in January of this year to foster a community and advocate for those in need of shelter. I was really inspired by the closure and the destruction of the Lakewood tent city. I don't think inspired is probably the word, more disgusted is probably the word. That all these homeless people were being displaced and had nowhere else to go. So I thought that the solution would be to purchase a plot of private land for the homeless to be able to live on legally and in peace, because we have a major shelter overcrowding problem in this state. So we have actually 6 different publics that we have to appeal to with this project. We have the clients, which are going to be the homeless individuals, and they're important, obviously, because we have to serve them. The donors, because we need to have working capital for our organization. Volunteers, because we need to have manpower. Local officials, because a major contingency on this project, and you'll see that on the handouts I've given you, is dependent upon the support of local officials as far as not trying to give us hassles with permits, not trying to give us hassles with regulations, and along the lines of that. So we have to win them over, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in the communications plan. Nearby residents, because there's this significant mentality that nobody wants the homeless in their backyard, and I'll get into that a little bit more. And also the media, because it's important to have overall a positive public perception. So our communication objectives, specifically what we want to do with the clients is to inform them of the existence of the campground and its amenities once it's launched, because it's not good enough to just have a plot of land just there. You have to let people know that would be potentially using the services that's there. So we're really having a push-focused strategy as far as the clients go. Contrast that with the pull strategy that we have to our separate segment market, which is the donors, which we need to reach and in order to, again, increase the working capital of the organization. Again, pitching value to volunteers, winning over local officials and nearby residents. So the unique selling proposition is that this project essentially offers immediate assistance and emergency sheltering for those who have nowhere else to go. The whole mentality behind this project is that a tent is still better than a park bench, and it's nicer to have a centralized community that's all privately funded, so you don't have to worry about if tax dollars are going into this, you don't have to worry about increased taxes, that it's all just voluntary, people helping people and assisting the homeless, that they're also not being criminalized and thrown on the street. So that's very important in our promotion, to have that unique selling proposition. Now, specifically, we want to break down the stigma of the term, and we want to increase the awareness of the importance of people helping other people. And presenting the fact that homelessness is suffered by such a diverse group of individuals allows us to segment even further, especially when you go out and you reach out to donor groups. I know that we've spoken to everyone so far from LGBT groups, because there are a lot of gay homeless youth, and all the way to the religious, because this is a problem that anyone can suffer, and there's a huge variety of different people. 7% of the homeless in Jersey are veterans. So what's so great is we have, for the donor base specifically, so many different ways and so many different areas that we can reach out to as far as funding goes. So getting into the messaging specifically, this is an example of the messaging that we've done so far. We've done a lot of social media. We've posted videos on YouTube. When we go to events, like when I spoke at a rally in Trenton, we post pictures on Facebook, and we also inform people as to the legalities and the actual formation and the structuring of the organization as it's going through, and as we're now trying to raise funds to pen for a 501c3 process. This is just a little radio clip that I had recorded.
If you think that the homeless should have a plot of land to be able to live on legally and in peace, then you support the goal of Land for the Homeless. Land for the Homeless is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to foster a community and advocate for those in need of shelter. To find out more about the project, visit landforthehomeless.org. That's landforthehomeless.org, and please consider donating today.
You'll notice that in all this messaging, we have a call to direct action. Even at the end of that video, we have a call to direct action, that they actually go, not just learn about the project, but go actually donate and contribute to the project. But we tailor the messaging specifically to each market, because each market has its own benefits. So for the clients, it's a centralized community of tents. Again, like I said, it's better than just living on a park bench, is to have a community of people, even though shelters are overcrowded, to still have a place. And there are a lot of homeless that also reject even going into a traditional shelter for moral reasons. That's that this project could potentially help, that the shelters will not be able to help. For donors, it's a humane and most importantly low-cost fashion to help the homeless. If you look at the brochures I gave you that breaks down the actual budget of the project itself, not just the promotional budget that I'm getting into, it is low cost. It costs less than $100,000 to get this started and to help 120 people. For volunteers, it's a chance to personally interact with and assist those down there. A lot of volunteer organizations in particular have had issues where the volunteers don't feel very engaged, or they don't feel like their work is meaningful. A lot of just administrative work, paperwork stuff. But this is something that is very hands-on in helping the homeless. For local officials, this project tackles homelessness without a single taxpayer dollar. That's very important because the government's not going to have to fund it, and it's important that this is from an economic standpoint beneficial to them. Otherwise, they will not be pleased with and cause a lot of issues with, again, the permits and the fire codes and anything else that would go along with that. Nearby residents, this is a really important message because I think the nearby residents could potentially be converted into donors if they agree with the project enough. The point is that the homeless are still going to be present whether they're on the streets or whether they're in a well-maintained community. So it's better to have them be in a well-maintained community than literally in your backyard. And then the media, this project offers an interesting and affordable approach to a worldwide problem, and I think the media is always looking for those kind of stories. Now, getting into our strategy specifically, we're going to use our website as we've done so far, social media, which we've gotten great feedback from, online listings and digital campaigns, so along the lines of more videos and things along the lines of that, attendance at community events, hosting fundraising and awareness events, in-person donor canvassing, so that can even be door-to-door, is what we've been speaking about recently. In-person homeless outreach, which is going to the homeless, again, part of the push strategy, contacting them individually to let them know that this organization exists and that there's a place for them. Send out press releases and have story placement interviews with the media. What's so great about this, though, is that it is very low budget. And as our professor said, that you still apply the same marketing principles whether you're spending $100,000 or $1,000, and in this case, we're spending less than $1,000, less than 1% of our overall budget, actually on the promotional budget itself, the promotional mix. $601.50 is going to go to physical media, $125 digital media, because we haven't had a significant need to pay for the buzz that we've been getting recently, and just $28.50 for miscellaneous expenses of gasoline, for example, to go to community events. Most community events, in particular, don't charge money for nonprofit groups to attend. So again, this is all can be done for a very, very cheap amount of money, not just the project itself, but the promotion. Business card printing, again, this is very person to person, so the volunteers handing out business cards, we have 5,000 of them for $50, $75 for digital ads. What I want to do is a CPA, because I don't actually, which is cost per action, and we haven't actually discussed that very much, but essentially it's that you're not just paying per click, not just paying per mile, but you're actually paying for a donation. So if the organization gets a donation, and this was just a sample number I put up, I think it would have to be played around with a little more, but hopefully 50 cents cost per action. So if someone donates, let's say $5 online, then that's when you pay the 50 cents out. Now $480 for postcard mailers. The USPS actually offers non-profit shipping. That is great because you can not only take advantage of bulk shipping rates, but you can also take advantage of non-profit bulk shipping rates. And postcards are a very cheap and easy way to reach people directly. I thought that we could go and we could create a list of known donors and people who specifically have been known in local communities to care about the homeless and contact them directly that way using the postcards. It's a little bit of a time-consuming activity to create such a list, but I think that it will definitely increase the percentage of the direct response. And so we would actually have 400 mail left over, again, can be handed out at community events and such, along with business cards. Buttons, we can offer 2.25-inch rounded buttons for those who donate. So again, that's an incentivization to give money to the project. $45 for annual website maintenance, that covers our domain and hosting. And again, the $20.50 for miscellaneous. It winds up being a CPM rate, very, very reasonable because of the amount of volunteers that are taking place in the project. So you wind up paying less than $10 per thousand. So the most important thing to keep tracking, though, is the effectiveness of the amount of money that we're spending, especially when you are in an organization where that money could otherwise be spent going directly to its mission. So cumulative assessment of the marketing effectiveness, contacted monthly using the metrics of marketing reach, broken down by medium, so how many people are being reached via social media, how many people are being reached by the website. You can even break that down further with the website and see how many people are viewing each page. Percentage of those reached who actually go on to interact with the organization, whether that be to go on to fill out a volunteer application, to go out and actually donate a little bit of cash. And then the fundraiser return on interest, which again delves into the promotional budget to a certain extent. And also the donor retention rate, that the actual donors are not just giving once, but are giving multiple times. So Land for the Homeless continue to control its methods through the use of surveys, and we're going to do that through public perception analyses. So we're going to poll people in the community, see what they think about the organization, and make adjustments where necessary to optimize its overall marketing strategy. I think this is something that's important to do at least once a month for an organization like this, because it's very easy for rumors to go out when it comes to a project of this type, and it's important to have rumor control as much as possible. And yeah, just make sure that all the members of the community fully realize what this project's about, and that we create a very positive image, and that's important to maintain for the success of this organization. So thank you.